All righty. Welcome today. Thanks for joining us. Today, we are getting to know your Business Tech Corner Pro Staff Alpha team. Thanks for joining us here. It's going to be just a few minutes. We're going to take a little deeper dive into the people that give their time and share their knowledge weekly. Just a little bit more behind the scenes, a little more personal. And today, our guest, Mr. Mark Perone. How are you today?
Good. I'm good. Thanks for having me, Greg. I'm glad you asked me to do this.
Excellent, excellent. So we're not going to take a lot of anybody's time in the world, but all the time when we're teaching and when we're sharing, it goes by so dang quick. And so there's a lot about you and the other team that people want to know. I want to know. So how did you get started in your business?
So Rethink Revenue, like anything else that I do, I got fed up with some stuff in kind of the consulting world and ultimately the product implementation concept of like software stuff. I know there's some jargon that comes along with some of this explanation, which I'll apologize ahead of time if I get into that at all. I worked at a construction company that more or less was implementing some software. Like them, I didn't really have a whole lot of tech background, but I was a project manager in operations, and they wanted to deploy a CRM that connected the operational efficiencies in a specific division in that construction company through a CRM. So kind of the standard stuff, right? Some marketing pieces in there, some of the sales stuff, and then production actually fell in the CRM breath of control too. So when I went to deploy that, I didn't have a good way to kind of formulate a plan of action. So I came up with my customer journey framework and ended up having to teach people without home row skills how to do their work in a piece of software. Everything kind of stemmed from there.
I like that. Like I come from, business background and technology, and that's kind of big overall systems approach. Like using tools to actually make stuff happen.
Yeah.
That is pretty neat. So, what do you like the most about what you do?
So inside of my business, the first thing is we want to just kind of help people think about things differently. And the tech corner concept kind of came about because there's a connect serve perspective, and then the ask end of it is more or less the activity that we engage with to better ourselves, right? On the ask end of it, the connection piece, I didn't really like the way that there's some inauthenticity around meeting people. I feel like it's contrived sometimes. And what I kind of looking into it a little bit came to the conclusion was when you struggle with other people, you're bound to them in a different way. It gives you an opportunity to see how they interpret problems and what frustrates them. So on the tech side of things, my business focuses on modernizing the way marketing and sales is done, but it does it in kind of a blue collar way. So more or less just taking the language that we hear in all these different systems like Calendly and YouTube and LinkedIn and CRM and all the pieces that your business needs now to operate in kind of the 2000s, 2020 into the future 2050s, hopefully. I'm just distilling that down and serving the community from my subject matter expertise is this. I'm open and inviting you to come ask me questions. It helps me learn, and it also helps me build relationships because you can really see that we're authentic, right? In your room, you do a lot of Google My Business, YouTube, video, like all the things that really work for you in your business. I do the same thing in mine. I just kind of teach people how I use LinkedIn and all the 10 years of CRM experience I have, just concentrated and distill it down so that everybody can understand it for their solopreneur, small, medium, and much larger businesses. It scales all the way up. So we try to show what those big companies are doing and how your smaller company could do it if you want to employ some of the tactics and strategy that we teach.
And that's one of the reasons I like working with you, man, because you've got all of this stuff and you can work with the people, understand where they're at, and then frame it and present it in the way that matters most to them.
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty great.
Identifying the problem is the same across the board. Like everybody feels the same thing, right? So we just got to put it in our language and then move it forward that way.
Gotcha. And less jargon, right? Always for me too. Yeah. Um, so how about maybe sharing one thing you learned from being in this field that maybe people should know? Like, the frequently asked questions, but like a should ask thing, or what's a little insider?
Yeah. So one of the things that we deal with is many of us in Tech Corner offer solutions to problems that people don't know they have, right? Like we run into this concept of like, let me show you a different way to do it. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm not even doing it the way that I think I could do it. Like, show me what you're talking about, right? So from that, we figured out that every business is uniquely similar. Their products are different, their services are different, but the business mechanism that you're building has you struggle in real similar ways to other people. So when we talk to like finance people who are, real smart CFOs, they've worked on the post revenue side for a really long time and don't realize that, lazy salespeople are actually doing hard work, and getting the perspectives from the human aspect of it and creating a way forward from any perspective that you have is all about meeting the people and getting to know them. When we started Tech Corner, there's some supposition around what we do. I'm cutting edge stuff, and I'm willing to fail fast and fail forward. The thing that I kind of didn't realize is that people are really uncomfortable with like failing or like not doing something right the first time or the second time. And many times what you got to do is just fight through that. And that tenacity that I bring to my business and try to bring to other people's businesses isn't something that's innate. It's not
So true, man. Everybody wants to be perfect, and
Mhm.
doggone, you just never do anything.
Yeah. So what I figured out from all of this is like, we're really motivating. Like we inspire people to take enthusiasm with things that they've typically struggled with in the past and bring a new kind of problem solving methodology to what they're doing. It's not necessarily about the platform anymore, right? Like we talk about LinkedIn or a CRM thing, and it's like, if you just approach it with an open mind, like you're a kid and you can just like learn, it really helps. So I didn't understand that the effect we were going to have talking about the tech side of things was going to move people into a mindset concept and allow them to think about everything differently, not just the things that we're teaching them, right? So that's really inspiring to me. Like I love that part of it. I love to see the machine work and like the light go on for people when they are like, oh wow, I can apply that over here too. Like that's a really good feeling for me.
I gotta say that's near and dear to my heart too, man. Is there any like a common myth about your job or your industry or CRM maybe or
Yeah, it's all vocabulary. Uh, Everything that we talk about coming from construction is, building something from the ground up starts with the foundation and understanding what your vocabulary needs to be. Everyone is a subject matter in something, a subject matter expert in something, right? They have their expertise, whether it's like playing tennis or racing cars or having a knack for sales. All those things have a flow state, and when you start to get into the kind of idea of how simple it can be once you put things in the terms that people understand, you end up in a far different place. So encouraging that is what we really want to try to do. Meet them on their terms, subject them to some kind of new vocabulary, and then apply it from what they already understand, and then move things forward from there.
again, another thing I love about you and your mentality, and I think I do a little bit too, is like, we come to their world and their things and meet in the middle. So we're gonna go a little bit out of the business world and more into Mr. Mark. So
Yeah.
how about, would you mind sharing something about you, like the people like us are maybe slightly familiar with you that we wouldn't know about you?
So I like to take things apart and put them back together. And this thing that I do for my business applies to nearly everything I do. Right now, I'm in the midst of a relatively large construction project at my house, which takes a lot of time, right? And one of the things is my daughter comes in sometimes, and she's a part of our, meetings on some occasions because the way I am, again, fully try to be as fully authentic as I can be. My daughter's actually a part of what we're doing right now because I want her to learn about entrepreneurialism from a perspective where it's real life and it's learned by doing, not learned by being told or going to academia for it. So one of the things for me that really inspires me is like when she comes home from school, I like it when she comes in the room and she can sit on the other side, like everybody in, like my office is on the other side of the screen, right? She can sit and she can listen to me talk about, you know, structure and workflow and tech. And being a female, right? She's going to grow up to have a mindset of not being afraid, staying determined, and focusing on the things that are really, really concentrated in the business world. So that part of it for me, behind the scenes, nobody knows that there's other people in the room sometimes with me. It's really important for me to not only show the people that I'm looking at through the camera, but also like when she walks in here, it's like very important to me that she hears what I'm doing every day. It's one of the reasons why I don't have an office. Like I like her coming in my office every day and being a part
I
of
do.
her.
She is so cute, man. And she shares a family name with some of my family too. So my heart swells when I hear her name. And I don't know. I think you peeked at my script, man. Because the next question is, what motivates you to get up in the morning and go to work?
So I'm a little bit of an odd bird when it comes to, like, I don't sleep very much, just naturally. It's not because I work harder than anyone else and anything. Like I only need a few hours of sleep every night. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm a little bit of a different kind of person where I'm feet hit the floor, I'm ready to go. And my motivation is really the next problem that I'm trying to solve. So I cannot live my life without thinking about a few different, I call it multi-tangential thinking. So if I don't have like multiple things that I'm thinking about at the same time, I'm not very creative. Like I can't get in that mode, right? Or if I'm creating something, I'm also working on this analytical thing that's more X's and O's, right? Like a concept of database reconciliation, or I'm not trying to use big words, but things that are more difficult from like a academia perspective, right? If I don't have a problem to solve in more than one area at any point in time, I cannot get motivated. When I have a ton of stuff going on all at the same time, I'm ready to go. So when I meet people in Tech Corner and they shoot me a bunch of problems, I randomly text people. I'm like, hey, I was thinking about that thing that we talked about 2 weeks ago, and I think I solved it, right? That thing for me, that they're like, well, you were still thinking about that? I'm like, yeah, this is what motivates me. Like I need to solve your problem so I can solve my problem. So help me, right? Like let me be a part of your world.
I love that, man. You're up just killing it, and the rest. I'm a coffee guy, man. So I sit and I, meditate with my cup and my thoughts and my visions. Yeah, that is great, man. I sure love getting to know you a little bit. Many people do know you, but maybe those that don't, or who knows who's going to watch this, man. We can put this out on social and YouTube and everything else, right? And all the new H7 people coming into the world.
Yeah.
So how can the listeners and the viewers connect with you online?
So email is antiquated in my world. Currently, I have 109,000 unopened emails coming through my my email client. The easiest way to get a hold of me is nearly everyone has my cell phone number. You can text me anytime, anywhere. I don't care. I try to answer as quick as I can. If I can't text back, if you try and call me, I'll try and call you back. LinkedIn, you just have to type in Rethink and my name comes up to the top. You don't have to know how to spell my last name. I've designed it so that it's very easy to find. Inside the H7 community, on the virtual calendar, we have Tech Corner at 11 a.m. on Thursdays. We're there like clockwork. Past that, if you're in the H7 community, you can probably ask somebody. There's some kind of 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon working there, where if somebody doesn't know, they'll know at some point in time. So going straight to the source, too, the man, the myth, the legend, Clay Hicks, he knows about what we're doing, and he likes our service first perspective. Going to him and asking him a question about anything that pertains to the tech world, he's going to lead you to us. So that's another really good way to come and meet me and Greg, and anybody else would be a part of Tech Corner.
Excellent. I love that, man. I swear you're picking up my script, because service first, right? We come at it this way, and the freemium model I know is one that you like, and so we always like to give value. We're going to wrap this up by a way of giving value. So I don't know if you have a giveaway or something that people could take advantage of.
Yeah, definitely. So I set up CRMs every day for people for free. I got a free product. I got a methodology and a strategy that you can run your business with. And it starts with just reaching out and asking for some help with that. I don't have a problem doing it. I usually spend 1, 2, sometimes 3 one-to-ones, making sure you're up and going. You got the product, and then we can walk away from it if that's what you want. If you want to ask questions about it, you can come back to Tech Corner and build your business, build your machine the way you want with a little bit of help from us, right? On Rethink Revenue, .com, rethinkrevenue.com. There's a few freemium offerings we have up there. The customer journey framework, which kind of helps outline how sales and marketing works in a business. We've got our kite model, which is a architecture for a funnel. We have our link builder for YouTube on there. That's super cool. If you haven't used it, that thing's a monster. It puts up subscribe first before people look at your YouTube channel. That's a sweet little trick that has gained, quite a few subscribers for a lot of people out there. Like you said, and my business runs like yours, a freemium concept where we kind of give it all away for free as long as you don't want to nail us down for any consecutive amount of time. Like we'll give freely as much as we can. So reach out definitely in any of the ways we talked about.
I love it, man. Lead with your best, give it away, because they can't do it. And if they really adapt and grab onto it, well, then it probably will engage us, and if not, they got value.
Yeah, that's the hope, that hopefully somebody says, I got a guy about what it is that they learned from us. And if that's all, if that's all we get paid in, I'm actually okay with it right now. Like I really like that word of mouth marketing perspective.
I did it, and in closing, it circles back to having a little H7 tie-in. I didn't know, in Clay's words, we're building champions by giving, like Bob Berg's Go Giver, like leading with value. And then you incidentally, accidentally on purpose, building champions by helping in the marketplace and bringing value.
100%.
Thank you, sir, so much for giving us some of your time today. I know you're a busy man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good fortune.
All right, take care. Come to Corner.